WWE's Money in the Bank, a multi-person ladder match where a briefcase is hanging above the ring. If you grab it, you get a guaranteed championship match whenever and wherever you want. We have seen wrestlers become household names after cashing in their Money in the Bank wins, such as Edge, CM Punk, and Daniel Bryan. Sometimes though, the winners of these matches don't have the greatest moments after their big wins. You have superstars like Damien Sandow, who lost their cash-in match and kind of became a comedy character after that. Or someone like Mr. Kennedy, who got injured and didn't even get a chance to cash in. Somebody else got to. But then we have what I think is the most surprising winner of all time. And honestly, I think it could have ended differently. I'm Ace from Shockwave Sports, and I'm here to defend Otis's Money in the Bank win and explain why they should have done more with it. 2020 WWE was so odd. We had a WrestleMania inside of an empty performance center in Orlando, Florida. We had some cool moments in that WrestleMania, like the Firefly Funhouse match and Drew McIntyre winning the WWE title. Another bright spot was a fun character like Otis getting a one-on-one match against Dolph Ziggler and winning. I honestly do not think this match would have happened if they still did a show at a stadium full of people. Otis got to continue his entertaining storyline with Mandy Rose that was very over with fans. I think, though, that would have been the peak for a character like Otis. A WrestleMania win for a comedy wrestler is really solid, but that wasn't his biggest accomplishment that year. The 2020 Money in the Bank ladder match was a little different. It took place inside of a WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut. Both the male and female ladder matches were started at the same time, and all groups just fought throughout the office building. It had some wild moments like Baron Corbin literally throwing Rey Mysterio off of a building, but anyway. The match ends with Otis winning the men's Money in the Bank match and becomes Mr. Money in the Bank. This surprised everyone. No one knew what the heck WWE Creative was trying to cook up. Were they actually going to put a world title on Otis? Well, we already know the answer to that. It did not happen. In early 2021, The Miz defeated Otis in a match that had his Money in the Bank briefcase on the line. Miz would later cash in on Drew McIntyre and win the WWE Championship. Otis would quickly fall back to the lower mid-card until forming a very entertaining tag team with Chad Gable. So now that we got the history lesson out of the way, here is my defense on the win itself. I like it. I have a big gripe with matches like Money in the Bank. It's supposed to be a match where I have to believe anyone could win it, much like the Royal Rumble. So from a story and character perspective, you're telling me this event happens every single year and no real underdog has won it? Is that realistic? Which I totally get, that isn't the point. But now that Otis has won, moving forward, you can't say Money in the Bank is totally predictable. This helps the match long term, even if you did not like this win. It creates the idea in fans' brains, telling them they need to watch this match no matter what, because you never quite know who could win it and have a guaranteed world title match in their hands. I also think Money in the Bank at the time was getting a little stale. At that point, it was around for so long, and it needed some kind of major surprise. So now that I got that out of the way, would I go all the way and say that I think Otis should have won a world title? Well, probably not. I can't really think of a scenario where that would have been a good idea for anyone involved. It's always better when the person makes the belt important, not the other way around. That belt would have elevated Otis so far to the top, it would have been tough to take the product seriously, even though Raw Underground was happening at the time, so I was already not taking it seriously. But in all seriousness, Otis should have at least tried to cash in. Putting it on The Miz, who already has won it in the past, didn't do much for him. Yeah, he got to become WWE champion again, but Bobby Lashley won that belt like a month later. It was such a big waste of time. I started to question if a Money in the Bank match should still happen every year. If you don't have an actual creative idea you are all for doing, why even have it in the first place? The year after all this took place, Big E won it and later became WWE champion. That win reminded me how fantastic these moments are. You have a star in the making, win the briefcase, you follow him through the whole saga, and when he finally cashes in, it's such a satisfying moment. We as wrestling fans have to learn to love those moments and not take them for granted. Maybe Otis wasn't the right guy that year, but in a crazy year that was 2020, I think he was the perfect guy to win it. Otis at the very least gave us an escape from the world that year, every time he was on screen. Recently, Otis seems now more over than ever being in Alpha Academy, so I'm glad this whole situation did not completely bury the guy. Hey, perhaps one day he could win it again and finish his story. I'm only half joking. Thank you for joining me for this video here on Shockwave Sports. Let me know who your favorite Money in the Bank winner was, and check out our WWE 2K24 series. It is the #1 destination for your creative wrestler. See you all in the next video.